There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as your stash of yarn, and as timeless as doilies. It is the middle ground between acrylic and wool, between knitted and crocheted, and it lies between the pit of a man's work in progress and the summit of those you steam blocked. This is the dimension of stitching. It is an area which we call the fiber zone. Do do do. Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I'm going to show you how to crochet a bit of an unusual, different sort of blanket that I like to call the Nautilus blanket. It's got a bit of a spiral, and if you use a color-changing yarn like I did in the intro, you can get some really interesting effects. And it's really, 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 really simple. Once you get the hang of the way that the pattern increases, there's no stopping you. Now, for the example that I had done, I used Karen Cakes. No, I'm not sponsored, but I always like to let you know what I use. It was the Karen Cakes brand in the colorway of Zucchini Loaf, and I used quite a few skeins, let me tell you, because this project is mostly single crochets, so it tends to eat up yarn. But I used quite a few of those, but and it took me a while to do it, but it was worth it because I think it's really quite stunning. And so I'm going to be using the same size hook, which is a K 6.5 millimeter hook and a worsted weight yarn. This is, I think it's Impeccable by Loops and Threads. And so we're going to use this today. And, well, without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, round one. All right, so to begin with, going to make a slip knot. By the way, you can use really whatever weight of yarn and whatever hook size you want, but I used a size hook a bit larger because since it's all single crochets, I felt that it would drape better, So that's personal preference, personal recommendation, but you do what's right for you by all means. So to begin with, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go into the first chain with a slip stitch to make a ring, like so. And then following that up, actually, I want to capture my tail as I go. All right, so for the first round, we're going to chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then single crochet into the ring. And again, I'm going to capture my tail, doing a single crochet right over that. Makes it a little bit easier in the long run. And so we're going to need 6 of these loops total. Okay. So moving right along, footloose and fancy free, chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, single crochet into the ring. Whoops. Damn it. Like so. 4 more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, single crochet into the main starting ring. And you can scoot your loops over so that they're not in the way. That's no problem. Chain up 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, single crochet into that middle ring. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, single crochet into that middle ring. And 1 more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. and once more into the breach, dear friends, with a single crochet. All right, and that is the end of round 1. So you have like little star flower thing going on there. All right. Okay, round 2. Now, before we get into round 2, we need to do some slip stitches up this chain here in order to get closer to the tip of the petal, so to speak. So, going into the first 3 chains, we're doing a slip stitch. So, going into the chain, just 1 loop is fine. Do a slip stitch, and then into the next chain, another slip stitch, and then into that 3rd chain, another slip stitch. Okay, now it may look a little right now, but as the pattern grows, this is hardly even noticeable. Trust me. Okay, so for the continuation of the second round, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a single crochet into the next chain space. Okay, we're going to do this all the way around. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the next loop, chain 4, single crochet into the next loop, chain 4, single crochet, into the next loop, chain 4, and single crochet into the next loop. All right, and we've come full circle, no pun intended. So then, let's see, chain 4, and then doing a single crochet into the last slip stitch that we had right here. So right in here, because we started the chain, so this slip stitch right here, do a single crochet. It could be a little bit tricky, and also in the long run, you could probably also go into that space. It's really not that crucial, but there we go. So we've got a single crochet right there. Okay, all right, and so that is the end of round 2. Alrighty, round 3. So for round 3, this is actually where it really starts to get cooking, So from here, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into this chain 4 space, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then single crochet into the single crochet right here. So you have a total of 3 single crochets. Okay, then chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the chain 4 space again, 2 single crochets, and a single crochet into the single crochet from the previous round. So again, you have 3 single crochets. Chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the chain 4 space right here, 2 single crochets, and a single crochet into the single crochet, chain 4, and same deal, into the space, 2 single crochets, and a single crochet into the single, And we're getting there. Chain 4, 2 single crochets, followed by a single crochet in the single crochet, chain 4, going into the space with 2 single crochets, and single crochet into the single crochet. Okay, and we have come full circle, as you can see. All right, so now, since that is the end of round 3, we're going to go on to round 4. Now, pretty much after this, it's one big spiral because you're not doing a slip stitch anymore. You're just going around and around and around and around in a big spiral, okay? So we're going to continue right along. All right, be right back. Okay, round 4. So for round 4, I'm going to start just as we were with a chaining of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then continuing on in the same fashion into this chain 4 space, 2 single crochets, and now we had 3 single crochets from the previous round. Just do 2 of those 3. We're going to leave off that last one. So we're going to end up where we had a total of 3 single crochets. Right now, with the 2 that we added, and the next 2, we have a total of 4. Each round, each complete round, is going to add 1 more to the count. Okay. So now chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Being sure to skip this single crochet right here. It's what creates the swirl ultimately. Okay. Then going back into the chain 4 space right here with 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, single crochet the first 2, leaving off the last, 1 and 2, leave that last one alone, chain 4, 2 single crochets in the chain 4 space, and do 2 of the 3 single crochets, 1 in each. Okay, leaving off that last one, chain 4, okay, into the chain 4 space, 2 single crochets, okay, and then single crochet in the first 2, leaving off the last one. You always leave off the last one. Okay, leave that last one, and then chain 4 again, into the chain 4 space, 2 single crochets, and then we're still at 3, so single crochet, 1, 2. We're going to leave that third one alone right there, and we're almost to the beginning again. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the chain 4 space, 2 single crochets, and 2 more single crochets, 1 in each, but we're leaving off that third one. This one right there, okay? And we now have come full circle. See, now we've got 4 single crochets. So we're going to do that round next. We're going to do round 5. So let me just lay out my work so that you can see what it is that I'm talking about and doing. All right, so as you can see, it is shifting over already because we have this bunch and then it's shifted over to this bunch, and it will continue to do that, and it will become more and more pronounced as you go. So we're going to continue on with round 5. Alrighty. All right, round 5. And after this, you should totally have the gist of where we're going. Okay, so we're going to skip that stitch as always and chain 4 into the chain 4 space, 2 single crochets. Okay, and so we had 4 from the last round. Well, just do the first 3. Just leave off that 4th one. It's easy as that, really. See, just leave that one alone. Sort of creates like little steps, if you will. So chain 4, 2 single crochets into the chain 4 space, and 1, 2, and 3, leaving that last 4th one alone. Chain 4, 2 single crochets into the chain 4 space, and then into the single crochets, 1, 2, and 3, leaving the last one alone. Chain 4, come in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 single crochets into the chain 4 space, and then 3 single crochets, leaving off that last 4th one. Now, you don't even need to really keep count. To be perfectly honest, you don't even need to keep count, because you'll see, oh, I gotta stop here. You just, you just don't do that last one. You leave that one off, and you just keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so this is one of those fabulous projects. If you want to do something and you don't want to have to think about it and you just want to go, it's a great, great, great project. Also, this would be a fabulous stash buster, because since you're working really all in single crochets, it's very easy to sew in your ends. When something is very lacy and very open, it can be very, very difficult to sew in your ends because there's not enough fabric. Well, once you get up there, as you could see with the intro, it becomes a very dense fabric. And in spite of the eyelets, it's pretty warm. I'll tell you. And so you can use your stash for this project, definitely. And I think that it would have some really awesome visual effects, on top of that. So just keep going in this fashion, just around and around and around, and you don't even have to think about it. It's a fabulous thing, and it just keeps spiraling, like so. And then, once your project is as big as you want it, granted, it takes a while because almost like a square blanket, the width grows at the same rate as the length. So if you're doing this for a bed, it's going to take a while. If you're doing this as, say, a throw blanket or a baby blanket, it's much more doable. Once you've reached the size that you're going for, all you have to do is, when you're making your round, not going into that last stitch again, but into the one right before it, just do a slip stitch, like so. And cut your yarn, sew in your ends, and you too can make yourself a really cool Nautilus blanket. And also, the other thing is, when the piece is as large as it is, at that point you really won't have to worry about, did I make a full round? Like, are there only, 5 stitches on this side and not on this side, at that point, you're really not even going to notice. I mean, I do like things to be nice and neat and so forth, but at that rate, the difference of 1 stitch, you're not going to notice. Trust me. I'm not saying it's a shortcut, but you're really not going to notice. What you can, of course, also do is to mark the beginning and end, you could just tie a little bit of scrap yarn around one of your legs here, okay? And that way you'll know, oh, that's the beginning of the round. No big deal. You can put a marker, but once the project gets that big, you will not notice it. I know I didn't. So I think this is a lot of fun. It's a very, very easy project, very simple. You're just going around and around and around, and you don't even have to count after a while. It's a fabulous thing. The only thing that I will say is that it does not lay 100% flat, because as it grows and grows and grows, these spaces here, from here to here, it becomes more pronounced. And if you want to lay it, perfectly flat, you end up having to sort of scooch the tip here underneath so that it will in fact lay flat. Okay, so that's the only problem that I have. It doesn't look like it's going to, but the more fabric you have, it does tend to do that. Otherwise, you end up with like this, sort of wonky lip coming out of it. Otherwise, I love the pattern. It's super fun. It's super easy, and I hope you enjoy it too. And if you enjoy this tutorial, please give me a little thumbs up button down below. And also, I would love to hear your comments as always. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, because I do try to post as often as I can, whether it's crocheting, knitting, audiobook narrations, or my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games, where I do video game playthroughs and commentary. A lot of fun. Anywho, until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.